About to argue with somebody about their opinion. You feel me? And if you choose to argue with me about my opinion, you gonna be arguing with your damn self, because I'm not gonna respond. So that's for the first episode. We gonna talk about what the fucking opinion is. An opinion is what the fuck you is your point of view, your point of reference, your subjective reality. It's the way that you see things. It's your first person. It's how you view it. It's how you see it. I could tell you the color is green all day, but if you see it as blue, who the fuck am I to tell you that it's green? You know what I'm saying? And anyways, people who the color green is only green because a bunch of people agreed that to call this color green. You feel me? So even then, that's an opinion. All facts are just consistent opinions. Think about that. All facts are just consistent opinions. That's it. That's it. Because at the end of the day, the reality is everything can be broken down into smaller particles. And the smaller the particles get, the more similarities you see between those particles. Which mean that in the essence, as things get breaking down, you understand that everything's so much similar in a sense. But once it's the big picture that people see different. So I'm not gonna argue with somebody, and neither should someone else argue with someone as to how they see the big picture. Because at the end of the day, we're all the same. So I'm not gonna argue with you how you see the big picture and how you choose to experience the big picture and how you choose to portray the big picture and how you choose to be a part of the big picture. I'm not gonna argue with you for that. I'm not gonna argue with you for your experience. You're a spirit, and that's what you came here to do. You came here to experience. So I'm not gonna argue with you about having one and having your opinion, which is basically what you feel about the experience. I'm not gonna argue with you about you having one of those for what you choose to experience or what you want, your spirit wants to experience. So yes, people argue. I see that a common theme in today's time is a lot of people are arguing with each other over opinions. Open your yin realm. You'd understand the decision-making process. You'd understand the possibilities of how many possibilities that can go into a decision-making process. And you'd see like, okay, that's just that's not, why put your time into doing that? Why put your time into arguing over someone's opinion? You guys aren't going to meet a middle ground. You both clearly have opposing opinions. So while an argument is just two people trying to convince each other to believe into what they're saying, that's it. Why waste that time doing that when you can be doing something instead of wasting my time trying to argue with someone to convince them to see the way that I see things, how about I spend my time focusing on how can I be the best version of myself today? Do that. You feel me? You got your time back. You just got some valuable time back. Time is the real currency. Don't forget that. Rich people are wealthy. They're wealthy. Okay, we're not going to break down rich and wealthy. That's another video. But look, it's time that they're buying. Do you understand that? The more time you have, the more, currency allows you, the currency that we use, it allows you to pay other people to do things for you so that you can have more time to do the things that you want to do. That's what currency provides. It gives you more time so that you can do what you want to do. And you don't have to, you could pay other people to do the other shit. I can hire a chef to cook me meals every night. I could hire a fucking maid to clean my house and make sure that my house is clean and free of dust, because dust mites are real. We ain't gonna talk about that, but dust mites are real. But I can hire a maid to keep my house clean. I don't have to do it. I can do other shit. I can hire somebody to drive for me. I don't have to drive. I can do other shit while somebody else is driving for me. I can be on my phone. I can be creating plans. I can do other shit. Money allows you to buy more time. Do you understand? Get that through your head first. Get that through your head. You could pay other people to do the shit that you don't want to do so you could do more of what you want to do. Because we're birthed into a time that's been on a linear path for some time now. So we're coming into environments that's established. It has systems. It has laws. It has all this shit. We're birthed into this shit, but we know we're being birthed into this shit. Imagine saying I want to play a game, or when I get into the game, I forget that I'm playing the game. That's life. The key is to remember why you're playing. AKA, what's your purpose? Start pursuing that. Get those levels. Bow. Master of the game of life. Don't take the saying as a saying. There's some meaning behind that saying. Just think about it. But once again, that's my opinion. So, if you agree, if you agree. If you digress, hey, all power to you. Like I said, I don't ignore people with different. I don't argue with people who have different opinions. Because at the end of the day, you're just telling me how you see reality, and I don't see it that way. So that's perfectly fine to me. Okay, now. So yeah, opinions are just. Facts. Things that we call facts are just consistent opinions, consistent ways that people have seen things, and then a number of people have agreed on that. So once again, going back to the color green, we call it green. We say it's green because it's been consistent. Enough people have said it enough times. Once again, time. There go that time again. Time popping up again. Enough people have agreed on that enough times to where they became the overall census, to where it's like there's no doubt about it. You can look in dictionaries, it'll say that's what green is. You can look online, it'll say that's what green is. You can ask a stranger in the street, and 9 times out of 10, somebody will say, yeah, that's green. So people have agreed. We've locked into this program to associate this frequency. Colors are just frequencies. We've locked ourselves into this program to associate this frequency with this color, with this term, and this is what we're going to call it. And then, of course, you have different denominations because, of course, frequencies mix. They blend. They can vibe. So we can take we can take some green and some yellow, and we can make yellow green. We can take some motherfucking green and some white and make yellow. So shit, we can vibe and create out of just one thing. We can create many things. But I'm going off on a tangent. Let's get back to opinions. No. Like I said, everybody has one. It's how you view the world that you're experiencing, the reality, the experience that you're going through. It's how you see it. You're going to have that. You're going to have your perception. That's why people say everything is subjective. It is. Because it's how you see it. And how you see it is your opinion. So it's subjective. Because you can be standing there. You could be in a room with 1 million people and y'all all could be in different realities. Like, y'all, I'm pretty sure some people have heard the analogy of the plumber, the electrician, and a carpenter walk into a room and walk into the same room, and they all see 3 different rooms. They all see 3 different rooms. The carpenter's gonna see everything that has to deal with the floor and the structure and what beams are being used and shit like that. And then you got the plumber that's gonna be looking at it like, okay, this wasn't placed on a good spot to begin with, so they could deal with some plumbing issues because of the levels of the ground, blah, blah, blah. Where can we put pipes at? You got the electrician that's gonna look at the room like, this place needs an entirely new rewiring. They got lights bad, they got sockets in weird spots. They're gonna see 3 totally different rooms based on what they know, what they've experienced, and their opinions. So I said all that to say I'm not gonna argue with someone about yours. So I make these videos not as a dispute to anyone else's opinions. I am just merely sharing mine.